Austin's really chomping at the bit to get to the Shrek bit because he didn't even go through the checklist.
It's been less than a minute past recording time and we're already in the recording. Yeah, you really want to know about the Shrek rave.
You were gonna tell a story off air, and if it's as good as I think it's going to be, and it was lost to the sands of time, I would never get over it.
Laura,
I'm gonna be on my deathbed.
Sandbag it real hard.
No, I'm just gonna be like, oh, I wish other people heard that awesome story.
Well, I mean, look, so far the story is a friend invited me to a Shrek rave, and I said yes without asking questions. I know nothing, because why would I ask questions? It's the words was Shrek rave.
Would a Shrek rave take place at a swamp that you're really not supposed to be in? A la the plot of the first movie?
Or it could be about fucking a lady who's much, much bigger than you, like all the other movies.
Well, hold on. Fiona and Shrek are the same size. Now, if it was a donkey rave, this is a different story.
I am referring to the donkey and dragon coupling, which I haven't seen the other films in a while. I assume is all they're about, because Shrek's story is kind of done at the end of that first film.
Okay, I've gone and actually looked to read more information about this. Good news. There is a live band who are all dressed like the characters from Shrek.
Is there a Farquaad? This is the important question.
There appears to be a Farquaad. They're the ogre tones.
Yes. I know this is just now free promotion for somebody who I don't know anything about.
Yeah, this will be free promotion for a show that will have happened long in the past by the time that you hear this. Yeah, there's an 8-piece band dressed like Shrek characters, apparently.
Okay, I thought your friend was throwing a Shrek-themed event, but I just googled this. This is a touring thing that is going in the UK, New Zealand, and Europe.
I guess so. I don't know. My friend said Shrek rave, and I went, yeah, Shrek rave.
Everyone has to wear onion-scented perfumes and colognes. What other? You gotta cut through the line. If they try to make you do one of those queues outside the event, you just got to walk through the velvet ropes.
I propose we all return here next year on December 23rd so we can have an in-depth discussion, because that is the day that Shrek 5 is going to be released, and we really need to see what the latest installment of this series is like and how this will affect the rave culture.
Yeah, there might be new lore to consider now.
Can you imagine if you were rolling on Molly and you just turned and there's Farquaad 2 feet away from you?
I don't know whether my instinct in that moment would be terror and like to lash out, or whether the Molly would be the priority and I'd be like, look, I gotta make peace with you, you man who was apparently just a parody of an executive somewhere.
Well, Farquaad is about 2 feet tall, and my immediate reaction would probably be kick real hard.
You haven't done enough drugs, Dan. It's all love. It's all love in the club. In fact, I think all the pills, if the people who are handing out the pills in that club are not saying, would you like a gumdrop button, they are fucking up so hard. I would be angry.
Out of the 2 times I've been high on pot, one of them I just got angry.
I know, it's not for you. It's not your life.
You're not doing the right things. You gotta do the drugs that make you want to give Farquaad a big hug, and that's gonna last like 35 minutes.
He's the villain, Laura. We can't be encouraging him.
But if you do enough drugs, you will be convinced that you can change him and make him a better person through the power of a 35-minute hug.
You cannot improve a landlord and make them a better person in all ways, in any ways except with a small little lead projectile at speed.
I would be rubbing all on his chin, telling him I forgive him.
Now, Laura, I have a somewhat adjacent theory to this that I discussed in a Spew Point episode, where I do believe that these people can be changed. Our approaches are somewhat different. You're going for a hug method, and I'm more of like an oral presentation kind of thing. But I do feel like we can have like common ground here.
Hey, look, I'm not saying right now that is my strategy. I'm saying there are certain chemicals that if you put in me, I will be convinced that every problem on the planet can be solved with a hug and feeling like your soul kind of got mushed up with theirs for a minute.
Austin, out of every dragon introduced so far, which one is the most likely to fuck the Eddie Murphy donkey?
Isn't it you? You spent half an hour last episode trying to fuck.
I don't think donkey is Rex's type personally. But in part because donkey already has too much of an ego, and you can't have two of those in a relationship.
I would say hop, if not for the fact that donkey's not blue, so clearly not the right type.
What an incredible segue to get back to dragons. It's the part of the show where we introduce ourselves. Of course, I'm Austin Yorsky, patreon.com/Austin Yorsky everywhere. You can hear Quinn discuss her brilliant plan for defeating worldwide fascism on our bonus show, Spewpunk. You'll probably have to go back to a pretty early episode because we let that one go really at the we were making our platforms known. We were laying out all of our plans for society. So $1 to get that. You can also do all kinds of other things to show appreciation for the show. Leave a 5-star Apple review. I'm the DM, you know that. I'm going to introduce the players in just a second. I will say that this is the first episode we're recording since the episode started going up. So everyone in like the Discord and so forth is hearing it. Everyone seems to be liking it. But we can't start responding to any comments until now. So if you've been like for weeks posting like, please don't do an arc where they play supermarket sweeps, I'm sorry, I didn't get the message in time.
I'm gonna create a dummy account just to start putting those messages out there, just to kind of sow chaos, I guess.
And who are you?
Oh, hi, I'm Quinn. Sorry. I should do like a regular version of that, right, Austin?
What's a regular version?
A version where I don't try to put a bad joke out there and then it bombs. I'm the wizard. I'm the sun elf, DiCaprio Devereaux, diamond dragon. I've got a couple different items here. I've used almost all of them though. I have my zipper costume rack, my Gucci sunglasses, my Dyson sphering, my Illusion perfume. And I'm still going to keep it in my inventory, even though it's not with me right now, the Liahana Astrolabe.
I'm just going to jump in and introduce myself now. I'm Laura. I'm playing Doc Hop, who is a warlock and sometimes a dragonborn small folk form. And I have a whole bunch of magic items too. I've got a trash bag of holding, an out-of-date pop-up book of goblin history, the shattered remains of what was once a genie bottle, a lucky plush rabbit's foot, child's first trading card deck of no synergy. I still am in possession of a nuke at this moment, I believe, and a kid's plastic spy kit.
All right, that leaves me. Hi, I'm Dan. I'm playing Rex. You know who he is. He's Rex. Everybody loves him, according to Quinn. Current items: childhood anvil, his ring of the king, the band of the Beast King that allows him to summon familiars, a Supreme Court Justice gavel of Dispel Magic, and based off of Quinn's intro from the last episode, a New York Giants jersey.
Go Giants!
Last episode's intro was so completely disturbed. I don't know we're ever going to live up to it.
Look, sometimes you have to reject any kind of authority, and the only authority is the weak, tenuous grasp of a podcast host.
Yeah, I mean, some week we're going to log in here and podcasts are going to be illegal, so let's enjoy it while we can, huh?
If that day comes, I'm moving off planet. I can't live without podcasts. I don't know a life. In the last 10 years, I've not known a life where I'm not doing multiple a week. I can't live without them at this point. I'm broken.
Podcasts will be legal, but they all have to be approved by the Secretary of Podcasting, Joe Rogan.
That's too close to something that could happen. I don't like it.
So I think DiCaprio is about to beat the shit out of her ex.
In a children's card game. I don't like the way you phrased that.
Oh, look, I've seen those games escalate. I've seen those tables get flipped.
Yeah, I'm challenging her to a duel. I've got like a big, important, pointing, dramatic finger going on. I don't remember if there was like more ceremony to challenge you people in Yu-Gi-Oh or not. So I'm gonna throw some Phoenix right in there and say there's a very dramatic point going on.
I mean, it depends. It depends what point in Yu-Gi-Oh we're talking about. If you're talking about like the Waking the Dragons arc, there's like a magic summoning circle that gets put around you, and one of you's gonna lose your soul into a trading card or whatever. But like,
I'm just not into filler, you know.
Okay, maybe you wager some resources of some kind. I don't know.
Oh, you mean some little stars that you need to be able to get through the front door?
It's not always
Star
the
chips.
stars. Sometimes it's the Battle City map cards that help you find where the finals are.
And sometimes your supporting character, who for some reason never actually plays the game, gets turned into a robot monkey. I still don't really remember what happened to that arc.
You may have heard the first episode of this season, which started with 5 minutes of us discussing Quinn trading cards, and said to yourself, that doesn't really seem on topic for Dragon Season. Why did they leave this in? That's because I knew there would be a lot of card stuff in this season. DiCaprio Devereaux's tool proficiency, I believe your only tool proficiency, is gaming. So
Yes.
You're an MLG gamer. We've seen Rex's tool proficiency, which is your, blacksmithing skills you got from Master Humdrum. This is, one of the things in the game not everyone gets super invested in, but tool proficiencies are occasionally useful, and that is how we're going to carry out this duel. So you, DiCaprio Devereaux, in your elf uniform, you have your shopping cart. Viola has her shopping cart, and you want to what's in there, so you have challenged her. We are going to do a best of 3 skill proficiency challenges here. You are proficient, and so is she. This is something, you tell me that you two used to do together?
Yeah, I think that there is. I don't think it's like unheard of for people to necessarily do something like this. You mentioned dragons like challenge each other in like the previous level, or were challenging each other. So I don't know if they're all like challenges of physical might or something like that, or if this game has become kind of like a throwback kind of like nostalgic thing or something up here, or it's revitalized Holodeck 2 or something like that. But I imagine this is something that Viola and DiCaprio have played, because both of them kind of have a hoard adjacent to this. I can't say for certain what I assume Viola's card deck is, but DiCaprio's are all very beautiful creatures.
Yeah, there's people who play card games just for the gameplay. Some people play it for the lore. Some people play it for the beautiful art. And as someone who hoards beauty, that fits really well. You have a bunch of vintage Seb McKinnon originals in your lair somewhere.
Can I get one of the non-alt-right guys?
No, I'm sorry. We only have that plagiarist, and we have Rebecca Gay. I think she's canceled. Narrow casting to 3 people. You're welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Viola, it looks like a human right now. I was going to use the image from the anime Watamote, but I realized I didn't actually know anything about that character. I just know that she is shorthand for this character type. Is that anything?
Yeah, Austin, thank you. That was very good, actually. I feel like I can totally visualize her now.
That's frankly what I assumed, except older.
Yeah, basically. She has a kind of standoffish demeanor at first when you start like grabbing at her to talk to her, and she's trying to give you the slip. But then when you pull out your cards, she says, "What makes you think I have my deck on me?"
Darling. And I'm just gonna give her kind of like a look as I'm already shuffling, like, come on.
We're at a cooking competition for a baby. Why would I? Fine. And she pulls out her deck.
Now see, if she hadn't had her deck, I'd have suggested she borrow mine for the hilarity that would ensue.
Oh my god.
I'm assuming you guys have, like, from just the name Holo Projector, that there's going to be some sort of hologram involved with this, like in the show. But I think it's funnier if you two shuffle off to the side and just grab, like, a plastic folding table and play it by hand.
We definitely could, like pick up one of the displays that has all of the. We're in the fruits and vegetables level, I believe, here in the food pyramid. So if there was a display with like a bunch of melons on it, you just knock them all off to play on that table. But I think the lore we said for your deck of no synergy, Hop, was that the enchantments on the cards had been corrupted and had become more powerful. over like 1,000 years. The ones that these two characters have are like relatively normal functioning ones, which just summon holographic illusions that like play fight. No one's going to die, to my knowledge.
This is more like the holographic chess in Star Wars, just having little claymation fights.
Yeah. So Viola, after taking out her deck, reluctantly says, "You want the stuff in my cart? What do you have in yours? Pasta? Okay, I'll take that if I win."
Which you're not going to, though, of course.
Oh, have you been keeping up with the new sets, the unauthorized homebrew stuff?
I follow the what's our fantasy equivalent of a subreddit?
Yeah, it's like a cave wall.
I follow the carrier messenger, who is devoted exclusively to holodeck updates.
All those custom cards are so overpowered. Oh, you pay one resource and do 10,000 damage. Wow, it's creative, original, cool.
See, I used to like holodeck back in the day when it was a back and forth game, rather than now where it's like you do like a 40-turn single turn and like every game's an FTK. It's just not the same.
I think that's the vibe here, is that Viola starts being like mad at you personally, DiCaprio, but if you start bantering about the cards, she like loses herself in that. You just like sidetrack her brain.
Oh, you grabbed your special interest. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like they don't keep up with the lore anymore. It's all slapdash and rather thrown apart, and I don't get me started on that AI art.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. So she shuffles up her cards and puts it on the table as dragons walking by kind of like rubberneck it, like, what is happening? I thought we were supposed to be getting zucchinis and these nerds are over here playing card games? Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get started then. We're doing skill checks because I wanna dazzle these people right out of the gate. So an 11.
All right, so you added 2 to that roll because that is your tool proficiency. She also has gaming tool proficiency, so here we go. 6. I have failed.
Yeah.
I will say
Right.
the first card she plays is Scampering Skeleton, which shows a saucy little bone boy who is gallivanting quite silly style on the card art. This is Scampering Skeleton with a 6. What did you do with an 11? You win the best of 3.
So I imagine I have some kind of baby equivalent of the beautiful like diamond dragons that are within my deck and things like that. It'd probably be something like Sapphire Wyvern #2 or some shit like that. I don't know why there were like 1s and 2s sometimes in Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's something like that. Like this isn't. DiCaprio's not dropping her strongest monster off the bat. This is sort of like a little bit of a testing round, but it just happens to be bigger, and it just stomps on this skeleton. Well, I guess it can't stomp. It's a wyvern. It eats it.
All right, yeah, your little holographic wyvern mauls the Scampering Skeleton, destroying it, but Viola chuckles and says, of course, Scampering Skeleton leaves behind a token when it dies.
No, it doesn't. It's
Well, I'm using the old rules. You see there's still a holographic bone on the play table while she pulls out her next card, which is Zombie Groove Master, which shows a zombie leading a bunch of other zombies in a graveyard, which is a light with disco lights. And this zombie has better stats than the Scampering Skeleton, but it still isn't the best possible card. And she smiles at you, and you see her nails begin to elongate. That is to say, Viola's, and you see she has like cracked and chipped, painted puce nails, fingernails getting sharper, like the dragon she is.
What the fuck color is puce? How do you spell it?
I love to educate.
What the? Hold on. What? What is this supposed to tell me?
Dan, I don't know why. I think that kind of covers it pretty
Dan is
clearly.
Why is puce apparently a green color, but then they show the green one and say it's not puce?
Okay, so here's the thing, Dan. You're colorblind, so I think this doesn't work with you.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah.
Why is the world lying to me?
Yeah, puce is meant to be kind of a muddy pink.
What? Why is the first result when you type puce color green?
I'm so excited that I get to experience Dan finding out that all of his lakes are purple again.
All right, what do you do to the zombie groove master?
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to summon my next card up. I'm going to summon the giant soldier of topaz. There we go. I was trying to figure out how to do a giant stone soldier thing. 'Cause if all goes right, I will turn it to attack mode and attack your moon and leave all your sea creatures defenseless.
Not my moon.
There are 3 cards with topaz in the name in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh god. Okay, 19. I rolled a 19!
Oh! Wait! Why is yours higher than me? You have a higher bonus.
Because the zombie groove master picked up the bone dropped by the scampering skeleton and has increased its attack power.
Fuck you. Are you serious? Why don't I get a bonus like that?
Because you didn't bullshit an anime reason. If you'd watched Yu-Gi-Oh, you would know it doesn't matter what the cards actually do. If you confidently say they do a thing, the DM can't stop you.
Quinn, quick, say that they equip that first monster you had.
Yeah, I was gonna say the giant soldier of topaz equips the sapphire wyvern into it. It just adapts it like a
Yeah, they're
dinosaur.
riding each other.
This is an enemy ability. I guess we're gonna roll again. We've drawn. So
All right.
I guess that was the flavor on this is that the two creatures are incapable of killing each other. They're both like 2/3s and they clash.
You know, like there's some dramatic turnabouts in Yu-Gi-Oh where they didn't really like come out ahead. They were just like, my creature's now strong enough to die and also kill your creature, sort of thing. They'll just both blow up. Like it was like I don't know, one of us had a trap card that dealt like increased attack by 500 or something like that.
Okie dokie, we're gonna roll again. Viola's getting excited. You can see like patches of scales creeping across her human skin as she's losing the focus required to keep her human disguise.
Okay, 12 this time.
Oh, 5! No!
Yes. Okay. Can I have an idea for this?
Please.
I wanna like, so she's like starting to get a little bit out of control. Like she's starting to like, you know, lose her form a little bit. And I want DiCaprio to kind of like reach across the table and put her hands on hers and just be like, Viola, darling, you're starting to show.
I just haven't been keeping up with the latest sets. This isn't fair. You can see teeth knocking her human teeth out as like lizard teeth come in.
All right. DiCaprio's just going to kind of, I don't know. She's gonna like kind of lean back in her chair in a little bit and just be like, "Don't worry, darling. I'll take good care of your veg."
You freaking jerk. I'm so... Let's see. All right, my next card is the Fancy Fleshmancer.
Austin, you're taking
Okay.
my characters from next season.
It's a dark wizard who is standing in a swirling vortex of bones and of like flesh that they have pulled off their enemies. And she says, of course, you know, the zombie groove master leaves behind his disco ball, which gives me a bonus.
All right, yeah. So when my creatures exploded before in that tie, I summoned down the summoned skull of lapis lazuli, and it picked up all those shards and made a crown of jewels out of them. So that increases its attack power, of course, of beauty-type monsters, which, you know, you, of course, paid attention to that faction, correct?
Didn't they changed all of those types now? They don't even work together. I'm gonna roll 18.
18 as well!
What the fuck? She is so in real life mad right now. She is hopping. She jumps up on the table. She drools a thick line of poison because in her puce dragon state, she has a putrid Komodo dragon-like breath weapon and it just splashes onto the table.
Hop from a distance shouts, "Don't forget about the soul of the deck!"
Fuck the soul of the deck. Fuck you, D to D. One more time. Let's go.
All right, yeah. DiCaprio is going to kind of confidently kind of sit back, and she's just going to kind of draw a card, and without even looking at it, she's going to play it on the table. And it'll be a surprise to all of us when I roll.
Can Quinn get advantage for believing in the soul of the deck?
No, Quinn loses this one, 2-1. But
the soul of the deck, Austin.
The fancy Fleshmancer disassembles the summoned skull that had tied with it last round, pulls it all apart, and its bones have been added to the bone hoard. As Viola says, "You thought you were just gonna steamroll me with all your new cards."
Check the score again, darling. I've already won.
It's 2-1. What do you mean?
No. It's 2 wins from me, 2 draws, and 1 win for you. That means, out of 5, I won.
Fuck, math is so hard!
It's real good Rex isn't here to find out there is another thing that he could potentially attempt to win at.
Viola's gonna make a constitution save to see if she can not become a puce dragon in this human-sized hallway. 5. There is now a 10,000-pound dragon on top of you, DiCaprio Devereaux.
Is it because I pointed out the ties, Austin?
No, I just thought it would be funny. It just came to me.
Yeah, okay. I know this dragon intimately, you could say, correct?
You've dated, yes.
Okay. So I'd be somewhat familiar with how her body is shaped. Am I able to avoid getting crushed by kind of knowing where, this is gonna sound gross, but knowing where the curves are, knowing where I can hide without being crushed?
I guess I wasn't really think this was a damage situation. It was more of a comedy situation. But I do like what you're like. Can I roll a lover roll to know that my ex's body is intense? Laura is posting all kinds of fun Yu-Gi-Oh cards in there. It's for us only.
Darkly Big Rabbi.
Yeah, ones that are definitely real. It is a huge scorpion with evil soul that is definitely not that.
This is incredible. So let's cut over to Doc Hop, who last episode had gotten. Let me check my notes here. Bread, lettuce, and tomato.
Yeah. I just need some good meat now for this super amazing, very good BLT.
All right, you're on the protein floor. You see what appears to be the most disciplined, talented dragons who have gotten here, who are trying to grab the nicest cuts of meat to get back upstairs. But you were the first of your siblings to get here, I think, or you and Rex.
Was it Rex? I think Rex pointed behind Hop, said "There's a blue lady," and then ran down first.
I guess Rex got here first, but I want to talk to Doc Hop for a little bit.
Sure.
Cool. Yeah, sorry, I was just checking a thing. Okay, yeah. I think Hop's approach down here is going to be to try and use deceit if there happens to be someone with good meat that she would like to get her hands on. The vague intention going from the start here is to basically try and take advantage of her out-of-date pop-up book of goblin history to deceive someone into thinking that the meat they have selected is actually a really bad choice, and willingly hand it over, or at the very least not hang on to it.
Absolutely. You just walk up to a dragon. What is the exact item you're trying to get? Because you're just going to show them the pop-up book and say, in goblin culture, this was actually a symbol of idiots who suck.
Yeah, I'm looking. Look, I've committed to the fancy BLT now, so obviously I'm looking for someone with good bacon, but I'm not opposed to additional meats on top of that. But I want the nicest cut where it's you could look, if you're not a fan of crispy bacon, you could have this and not be dealing with the fat seams. You're no, that's a consistent piece of bacon. That
I don't know what it is about the phrase additional meats that struck me so pleasantly, but I really liked it. Yeah, roll deception. This is just one of the many dragon citizens here, nobody we've talked about before.
Okay.
And I assume it's not pig bacon. It's probably one of D&D's many magical creatures. It's Remora's bacon.
Whatever the rarest and tastiest creature that might produce bacon is. That is a 21 on perception.
Cow, yeah, you crush it. So walk me through the social action, which works perfectly.
Yeah. So I think Hop spots someone that has, I don't know, the rarely... I feel really bad. I was about to say the endangered bozog, and I'm like, no, that's...
Yeah.
No, those are extinct.
No, they're my children. I think this is something like, let's throw out something that I don't think Dice Funk has done before. The endangered pentacorn. It's a 5-horned unicorn equivalent. It makes really fucking tasty bacon.
Okay.
And the horns aren't where you'd expect.
I mean, well, like 3 of them are, but the other 2, But yeah, Hop heads over and goes, "Hey, look, I know this is a competition. I shouldn't be helping you out, but I've got this book here, and like the reason that people like really commonly eat the pentacorn bacon, it's not because it's good. It's all a conspiracy that was it was a bit of misinformation spread by the government, because like at the time they couldn't get a hold of good meat, so they like spread the idea that pentacorn meat was like the best meat you could find, so that like, you know, it wouldn't be clear that the culture had just like completely lost track of like good meat supply lines.
Like how lobsters used to be garbage peasant sea bug food.
Exactly. It's only considered highbrow because they wanted to keep it away from the poor people, and like the taste doesn't actually go well with like the vast majority of things. People just like people who are going to be judging this competition know the difference. Like I wouldn't bother with it.
Yep. The other dragon says, "Oh, well, thank you, Doctor. I didn't know that. Here, you want it? Wasn't 100% confident anyway."
I mean, I'll take it off your hands, but like, I'll find somewhere to dispose of it. Don't worry about it.
All right, thank you. You notice that this dragon pays you an inordinate amount of respect. I think on screen you're constantly getting bullied by your siblings, but like to the average citizen, you're basically a princess. You know, like you're as far as your dad being in charge makes you kind of socially very important. So there's a surprising amount of deference here.
Princess of the trash.
Can I get a Constitution saving throw?
I suppose you can, if you must. 19.
19's very good. So now you have your bread, your bacon, your lettuce, your tomato. You could go back up and get ready for the cooking competition. Before you decide what to do next, though, you do feel kind of a dull ache around your midsection. So with a 19, you just have a little pain, you don't take any damage, or you don't have to have any, ongoing consequences. I'm just letting you know your tummy hurts a bit.
Can I roll anything to understand my tummy hurts?
Medicine is how I would do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 10.
Tummy hungry.
Yeah, I would say that looking down at your own dragon-born stomach, you don't see any marks or anything. You don't think you ate anything weird. It's just the 10. You have an unusual pain that warrants further investigation, but nothing obvious right now.
I think the main thing I want to flavor-wise do is that after getting to the lowest floor, is it we're currently on?
You are, yeah, of the 3 main levels, you are at the bottom one.
Yeah, Hop is attempting to try and dig through the floor subtly to find out if the sequel to sugar is down there, because that would be a pretty cool condiment to use.
Yeah, the non-smell that Rex had earlier of no food.
Yeah, it might be sugar too. It's completely odorless.
That's why we have to specify these things, because that means I need a survival roll to pick up the trail of Sugar 2, the sequel to Sugar.
Survival. 11. Is this enough? I want to use lucky to add to it.
You got a 15. Or
Sorry,
a 16.
it shouldn't have had the +5. I forgot to delete the +5 off. Yeah, this is an 11. Do I want to use a... How many of them do I have total? I really want to get the scent of sugar too. We're adding another dice to that. Sorry. Yeah, I choose which one. It's not added. No, it's the 19. Sorry. Yeah. 19 on fine sugar.
Okay, so with a 19, you are on the what seems like bottom floor of the larder. There's all these hallways that go to different rooms where people are looking at magically preserved fresh cuts of flesh, basically. And you find a hallway which kind of ends suspiciously. There's no room here. With a 19, I think you are able to see, marks on the floor and stuff that lets you know traffic comes down this way. People are walking here, but there's no obvious door. So this seems like there should be a secret passage here to discover. And now my question is, Rex Maximus, do you also end up here? So where have you gone since you split?
So he went, of course, down to the next floor to get his meats, and I know what I am looking for: Brontosaurus ribs.
Yeah, from the paleological biome, from the prehistoric area that we went through in season 9.
We are Flintstoning it, people.
All right, roll investigation to see if you can find it.
Okay. I was hoping I could just find it and then mean mug someone there with an intimidation roll to take it, but sure. We got...
I mean, if you want to do that, you can. I guess that's your approach. If you want to just find someone and browbeat them, I can't tell you how to approach things.
Yeah, that will be... So yeah, Rex is going to spot the ribs, see someone else there, and he's just going to very confidently walk up, kind of mean mug them and say dibs.
Roll intimidation then.
18.
Wow, that's very good. So you cow this person. Once again, just another dragon who knows who you are, who doesn't want to fight, the dictator's jacked up son, and it's gonna run off.
So Rex, from Rex's viewpoint, while he is competing with his siblings to win this competition, he does actually have a job to do down here now, and that is to do this investigation. So he's gonna try to figure out where his siblings are. He's assuming he doesn't know where DiCaprio is, but figured that Hop was probably close behind, so he's gonna start looking for her.
Can I just say in advance, if Rex finds Hop, she is just going to point in the opposite direction and say, "Did you know there's a cut of meat called a crown?"
He runs off. All right, goodbye, everybody.
I have to write Brontosaurus down. Can I get a survival for you also to find where the hidden door is?
Yes, but before I do, there in this quick moment of downtime, what Rex wants to do is with his find familiar ability, if that rat is within 100 feet of him, I guess just in any direction, even through ground, I can be able to see through its eyes and make telepathic contact with it. So he wants to check in with Agent Cheezers to see what's going on with Enobarbus and the rest of the competition.
Agent Cheezers, I believe, was put in a bag with Enobarbus's stuff and has just been eating it. So you have, I think, sabotaged this man's chances in the competition. I don't even think you need any other additional rolls here because your rat is just messing up all that food. So you can add something.
To be fair, that's on them for putting a rat inside of a bag of food.
Liz, he's a very good agent.
Mind you, I didn't actually mean for him to eat Enobarbus's food. I wanted him to eat through the bag and then start fucking around with other stuff. Rex, I think, kind of does feel bad about this, but what's done is done. So I guess a survival check. I have a 1 to this. Great.
Because you're going to be competing against all the other dragons, so if you could take some of them off the board, it'll make it easier.
Mm-hmm. 9.
9 does not succeed. You have bullied someone into giving up their food, and they went and they started telling people, "Hey, don't go in there. Rex Maximus is on a warpath. That guy's being a total dick right now." And so when you start walking around the hallway looking for something suspicious, you're actually attracting some amount of attention, and someone corners you in a hallway, impeding your progress. This is Desdemona, the Diamond Dragon, although now she looks
Fuck.
like an adult sun elf. Elves in some fiction are just like humans with pointy ears. It makes them easy to put in like a live action thing. You just give them an ear prosthetic. Desdemona is almost uncanny. Her like elongated features, her kind of shining eyes. It's eerie. She's like very tall, and she kind of gives you the creeps. And she corners you, and she says, "Boy."
I guess Rex would recognize her, right?
Yep.
Okay. God, what would he call her? Because I think we established that Rosalind, his mother, and Desdemona have probably had like dragon quote-unquote tea occasionally. But this is obviously not like a standard or good relationship, and I don't think Rex necessarily likes this lady. So he's going to default to probably what his mother has told him in the past and go, "Oh, hello, Lady Desdemona. How are you today?"
I was doing a lot better until I heard that you're trashing the place and fighting other contestants.
There's a competition to win.
Yes, but I believe we could do it with a bit of class, couldn't we?
I think Rex just does kind of shrug and says, "I aim to win, and everyone's told me that methods don't matter as long as you get away with it."
Desdemona was kind of a slight, reedy woman next to your like muscle-bound badass. Probably shouldn't be intimidating, but when she steps forward, you feel like a wave of kind of dark cold come over you as she looks down at you and says, "You represent your father everywhere you go. You reflect on your family."
God, I think I want to make a choice here.
Uh-oh.
I owe this lady something.
Uh-huh.
But Rex also does not like this lady talking about family when he knows how shitty of a relationship she has with DiCaprio. Ooh, what do I want to say back to that?
Needless to say, she's obviously dressed in an extremely elegant gown, somehow magically wrinkle-free no matter how she moves. Kind of eerie.
I do. And when either I or DiCaprio win this competition, I'm sure it'll reflect great on us.
I don't think I've ever seen Misty in a kitchen before. I don't think that's happening.
First times for everything.
Speaking of, perhaps will be the first time you follow through on your obligations, boy. I'm told that you promised my son something.
I have a question. When she says son, I can't remember. Was everyone at Desdemona's lair calling her Mother Desdemona?
Yes.
Or is... Okay, I just needed to make sure. Oh, did she have another kid that DiCaprio doesn't know about?
Well, I think they also then just started moving people into DiCaprio's own room as well, we found out.
Yes.
That too, yes.
Yeah, the elves are her sons and daughters, and DiCaprio is Misty, which I think you used to have on your sheet as the name she called you before. I don't know if that's on the latest version, but I've just decided she's just refusing to acknowledge that you don't go by that name anymore.
Yeah, well, I took it off because I was like, is this kind of mean? Because she named me that as an insult.
Rex, will very simply nod his head once and say, "Yes, I am currently working with the greatest smith to ever grace these lands to ensure the work that I owe him is perfect."
Well, that's very nice for you, boy, but the girls, the wives, we've been talking, and apparently you have a Navineral's disc. Seems like a quite perfect engine of destruction. I'll be taking it as soon as you're able to find it. I'm sure you have a lot of mess in your lair, so feel free to drop it by
It's
anytime.
not mine anymore.
Yes, I know, it's mine. Thank you.
I think Rex is just going to look at her and go, "That's not the deal that was made."
And if I go to your father and tell him, I think it quite will be the deal. So let's not waste each other's time.
I'm young. I've got time to waste. I'll take that bet.
All right, yeah. She tries to big dog you, and you do not. Your dog is too big.
And I think in Rex's head, like, hey, DiCaprio, your mom is like actively harassing me for this nuke. What are we gonna do here? But he's not gonna like agree to just rob Hop for it at this point, and he's also doesn't want to be like pushed around. So he'll do what he was originally agreed to do, but he's not gonna give you $1 more.
Okay. Yeah, Desdemona corners you in this hallway and talks to you for some time, so you're not going to immediately catch up to Doc Hop. But instead of just giving her an item you make that you don't have any attachment to, she specifically wants the nuke. So, something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Aww, Rex is so cool.
Agent Cheezers, kill this lady.
All right, DiCaprio Devereaux, there's a puce dragon on top of you. You use your sex saving throw to not take any damage, you nasty little freak. But yeah, she's all scrunched up in here.
Okay, so I want to almost like play this off like this is kind of an adorable thing.
Uh-huh.
Like, Viola, darling, you know that there are rules against this sort of thing. It would be uncouth to do it here.
I'll show you, Couth. Get me out. Pull on my arm. It's stuck. Oh, it doesn't bend that way.
I bet we can make it bend that way with a little bit of effort. And
You fucking dirtbag.
I want to kind of like get close to the ear and just say like, you know, Orlando's actually left the celebration.
Yes, and I don't know, what does that mean? I wasn't looking for your dad.
Sure, but I was just saying that maybe this presents us an opportunity to work together.
Oh, you want to work with me together now? I heard you hired Lady Falconfuck. Her minions were crawling around all in my swamp trying to ask about the Cymbeline siblings. Why didn't you ask me?
She had a knowledge of getting the information that I was looking for, and it just seemed like the easiest thing to do. Plus, you know that Father watches a bit of my actions, so I can't just be sending out messages to you without thinking of the consequences of it.
Yeah, you're always thinking about what he thinks about things. And she starts to shapeshift back into a human after, squirming around for a minute there in the tunnel. She says, "Oh, you want to work with me now, though? What does that mean? You want to be on my cooking team? Here, by the way, take your fucking, what is this, celery, idiot?"
Yeah, I think DiCaprio is going to kind of grab it and just be like, it seems like we could help each other. Plus, it might be nice to spend a little bit of time together, if you're interested.
Oh, but what will people say? DiCaprio Devereaux is hanging out with the puce dragon. Ooh, call the papers.
I think she has to kind of take that one. I think she knows that she's kind of been a little bit shitty in the relationship, but she's gonna come back and just be like, Viola, I really would like to spend a little bit of time together if you're interested.
Well, I'm not interested in working together with you if you're back with that old whore.
We're not back. We're not.
Are you sure this is someone you want to be back with?
I don't even know where that came from. I was like, listen, we're doing Toxic Yuri. There's a universe, like there's many seasons of Dice Funk where we extol the virtues of polyamory. These bitches hate each other. I'm sorry.
Yeah, DiCaprio, I think, is going to say, we are not together. Sounds like it might be a sore spot, but this really was just communicating with somebody who I knew had connections for a long, grand-standing purpose. It's not any sort of connection beyond that. It's purely business.
It's always connections in business with you. You think that if you suck up to Falconbridge enough, she's gonna let you have all of her stuff when she dies? Because I mean, that's gonna be any day at her age.
I think DiCaprio even has a slight chuckle to that. Not like a heavy one, but she also enjoys I think that's why she's been with this person, is she also kind of enjoys sometimes being a bitch to other people. And I think she just kind of says, it's not about that. You understand. It's about making connections so that you assure that in the future you will be taken care of.
If you want to spend time with me, I need you to start breaking connections. That's what I need.
Breaking connections with who? Falconbridge?
Sure. She has some very fancy bones that she doesn't understand the importance of, that she collects just because, they belong to famous people or whatever. Maybe, someone who actually appreciates them could enjoy them for once.
And why don't you get them from her?
I mean, I could. Is that what you want? I'll go kick her moldy ass. I don't care. I thought you were trying to prove something, D.
I'm not trying to prove anything. I am trying to ensure that I've made the right connections and that I'm not making enemies of the people I shouldn't be.
Okay, well, that's worth fucking nothing to me. So think about what I said. And if you want to work with someone who can actually get you the Cymbeline sibling's real name, maybe consider bringing me a nice bone gift.
DiCaprio's gonna kind of get quiet and sad for a little bit of a moment, and then she's going to very instantaneously kind of steal up, and she's gonna be like, good luck with your meal with no vegetables, by the way. And just kind of I don't want to shoulder check her, but definitely walk past her in a way that I know she'll move out of the way for me.
You flick your hair, hit her in the face with your ponytail.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you want to say any subtext out loud or anything, but what I'm trying to give you here is a choice between getting back into the good graces of your exes, and they have the opposite request. Falconbridge wants you to repair your relationship with your mother so she can get access to high society stuff, and Viola wants you to destroy a high-profile connection to prove that you're not a clout-chasing dickhole.
Oh, but what if I'm not considering that option? Does that mean I'm a cloud-chasing dickhole?
That's up to you.
Okay.
Now, how does Rex find out that she wants skeletons?
Yeah, okay.
What do I write here under fruits and veg for your inventory, DiCaprio?
Well, I just had celery thrown at me. I was gonna come up with a better option. I was gonna be the fancy version of eggplants, and then I just realized that's just the British version of eggplants.
They got different aubergines over there?
Well, we call them eggplants, which isn't nearly as cool of a name as aubergines.
Yeah, I mean, she threw celery at you, but you can have whatever you want. Now that you're not dueling her anymore.
Yeah, I want a sort of a very sharp, vibrant cornucopia of vegetables at this point. I think DiCaprio is very much looking for a looks forward meal. Like, she wants this to be a visually eye-catching thing. So she is going to have slices of vegetables that she's going to put into this pasta that she just needs to complement with like a really good meat.
I wrote down vegetable medley. Can I get a Constitution saving throw? Or a charisma saving throw?
Oh, charisma, eh? Okie dokie. An 18.
Wow. You turn away from Viola after that charged encounter. You start walking away, and you see something in your peripheral vision, and you think she's come back to apologize, and you turn, and it's not her, but you did catch the briefest glimpse of a golden coin.
Yeah. I was like, if I turn around and it's the coin in Viola's dress, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, if you had botched, that's what it would be. You start seeing everyone as coins, but with an 18, just a glimpse of coin.
It's gonna be so funny when after spending that wish to bring Keeper back, and then DiCaprio is gonna kill him for that fucking coin.
So yeah, right now a different kobold has the coin, the one DiCaprio flipped it to on her way out of the lair. But you want to establish anything else, Quinn, before we move back to Hop looking for the secret entrance?
I think the last thing, because DiCaprio's a little miffed at how that went. Like, she got to look awesome. Like, I think anyone that passed by was like, oh, she's whooping the shit out of that Viola girl in this duel. Like, just as expected, all that sort of stuff. But the fact that, like, the conversation they had together didn't go the way she wanted, I think does leave her miffed. And, like, as she's, like, going down into the meat section, she's going to like huff out her nose, and I think whenever she does that with a particular kind of force, like it chills the air, like it just like becomes like a very visible breath, and she's gonna say something about like this section being the cold section or something to justify it. Like she's just gonna lie to herself, but she's particularly miffed that Viola didn't want to spend time together.
Yeah, I mean, I was leaving the door open for that to be possible. Maybe you would have lied to her or agreed to do stuff with her. But yeah, it was like on the table, but she wants you to do like a grand gesture that maybe you're not ready for. I don't know if you want to discuss this like explicitly, but
yeah, I imagine it'll come up at some point. That's just how her attitude is right now.
Okie dokie. Doc Hop, you're at the end of a hallway that ended abruptly. Can I get sleight of hand to look for any secret devices or levers?
Sure. Botch 5.
Well, whoop, there it is. You are scratching along the wall looking for like a secret divot or seam or something. And you don't, I mean, you hear other people walking around, but let me make this picture of the vegetable golem even bigger. Here he comes.
Yeah.
He is made of gourds, broccoli, carrots, the whole thing. He walks up, kind of squishing on his feet because of the grapes at the bottom, so you don't hear him. With your botch, he's going to bonk you. He's going to hit you. 13.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right, you are bonked for only 2 damage as he swings down a big head of cabbage at the end of his fist.
One sec. I can't be surprised while I'm conscious.
Oh fuck.
Haha!
All right, yeah.
I have my spike hit. I'm good.
Yeah, you have the alert feat because of that. I forgot that. So yeah, instead.
Yeah.
Instead, roll initiative to enter combat normally. His what do you have a spy kit out which has like a secret magnifying glass or something that you can see his reflection in? How do you know the?
Yeah, I've got one of the parts that's like meant to make a little laser line that alerts if it's broken, and while I was trying to look around and find the hidden entrance, I just stuck it on my back so that if anyone walked past me, it would just sort of make a little dinging sound.
Okay. Yeah,
It's not got a particularly high range, but if it gets close, I'm good.
The produce golem tries to sneak up on you. It trips your alarm. I rolled a 17 for initiative.
12.
All right, so I am still going to go first, but I'm going to re-roll that. 12.
That is exactly my AC.
All right, so he does, in fact, hit you with a fist that is a head of cabbage for 4 damage, slamming into your dragonborn face. It is your turn.
Okay.
Pull a card and become banished for another minute.
Yeah, the banishment card is supposed to be, your team goes down in fighters from 3 to 2 for a little bit. But if you're alone, it just means you get to not fight.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, this fight ain't looking good for me. Fuck it, we pulled in from the deck.
Fuck
Oh
me.
no, I already did. We're in the same arc. I haven't had a short rest. I can't do it.
No, you
yet.
can. It's once an episode.
Oh, once an episode. Okay,
Yeah.
well, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
3. Odd is bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Austin, odd's bad, isn't it?
Odd is bad. You pull a card that is titled Hydrophobia, and it shows a bunch of different animals all foaming at the mouth. You are struck with the status effect Fear, and you have now a terrible fear of water. If you see water, you will be once again hit with the fear status condition.
Is this like a temporary one, or is this a forever? I now am afraid of the ocean.
Until you get it fixed, you are afraid of water. Yep, that's what that does.
That's a problem.
It sure is. We should read the status effect Fear to the audience. It basically means you can't get closer to something you're afraid of.
Okay, I should try and use my breath weapon. Give me what kind of saving throw does it need to be?
I think it was Dex.
I haven't used this in a minute. Pardon?
I said I thought it was Dex.
Yeah, I think it's Dex. Yeah, give me a Dex save.
All right, that is going to be crit.
Okay, you'll still take half damage, and I'm level 1, so
For the audience, I had a -2 modifier. The golem is very slow. I just happened to crit.
so this rounds down, so that'd be four acid damage?
Yep. So you try to breathe acid onto the produce, and it starts blistering. Like, it's not good for it, but it does not compromise the integrity of the golem, who does not care how it looks. So, especially after your one-hit kill against Keeper, this is a disappointing result. 13.
That's gonna hit me.
All right, you take 2 damage as it hits you again. Uppercuts you with a big, what's a funny thing to get hit by?
Zucchini.
Zucchini, yep.
I have a strength of 20 in level 1. Can I just try and punch this thing?
So we discussed before that your random bullshit go physical attack is a thing you can do, but it has minimal effectiveness as a warlock.
Does having 20 strength make it better?
I mean, yeah, you're jacked, so your attack would be +7, and then the damage would be.
I mean, that's still like if you hit, that's like 5 damage flat.
D6 plus 5. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm literally just going to run in and start trying to rip this thing apart with my 20 strength hands. 22 to hit.
22 hits, yeah. Doc Hop is actually jacked now, so.
Yeah, I've realized, I forgot I'm good and strong. So D6 plus 5. That's 10 damage.
Oh, wow.
That's better than I was doing with the acid breath. I'm smacking this thing around.
So you start ripping at it with your Dragonborn claws, doing a pretty good chunk of damage. It's going to try to hit you again. 6, that fails. Oh my gosh, I really thought I was about to beat you to death.
I thought you were too. My health was not looking good.
Wow, this one really turned.
11 to hit?
11's not going to work, no. Uh-oh, maybe we spoke too soon. 20.
That's gonna hit. Please be a weak one.
All right. 2 damage.
I'm still standing.
All right, here we go.
Come on. 26 to hit.
That hits big time.
7 more damage.
Ooh, almost. Okay, we're getting down to the wire here. It's your claws against the pulverizing fists of the produce golem. 3! That's gonna miss big time.
That's gonna miss big time. And 15 to
That
hit.
hits. It has 9 HP. Can you do 9?
In theory. 11. That is max damage.
It's gonna sound fake if you keep rolling this well, Laura.
Yeah, I think Hop is almost surprised at how well this is going. To be honest, she forgot that she's jacked now. He's not used to being able to rely on that. And at a certain point is no longer punching through the golem, but is just sorting through it looking for additional veg for the sandwich. I don't know when that point is, but it does transition from punching through things to, oh, that's a pretty good aubergine, actually.
Yeah, so right now you have like a fear striking in your heart that you don't quite understand from the spell, from the card.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that in a second, because right now you kind of just go berserk and you pull it apart with your claws. How much hit points do you have left?
1.
No way.
1 HP, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it felt like a year level 1 character. I was like, we're gonna have to see if the siblings can get to you before you die.
I was on 3 health and I knew I was taking an attack. It was a real hit and miss how much damage that was going to be.
That is incredible.
Anything more than a 1 on that d6 would have killed me. It's only because you botched the d6.
All right, so with 1 hit point and with fear in your heart, can I actually get perception with disadvantage?
Okay, perception.
Well, someone's about to get robbed.
Damn it, Dan!
That with the disadvantage, that's 2.
That is 2.
I can use lucky. If I use lucky, do I have to disadvantage on the lucky replacement as well, or do I just get?
I think you'd have to use the new roll.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to roll 2 more and take the worse again. If I'm lucky, I just roll 1 more and that's the new result.
I think that's what it says, but
I believe so.
there's still 1 episode left in the arc.
I know there is, but fuck it, I'm strong now.
You also have a nuke on you that they could steal.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, fuck. 7?
7 doesn't do it, no. You are...
Don't remind Austin about the fucking nuke.
You are, like, in a pile of entrails of this golem. It looks like you just, murdered this guy. There's seeds everywhere, rinds, all kinds of stuff. And you are, like, looking through it for good ingredients, and you just hear a munching sound next to you, and you turn, and there is a fairy dragon, purple, blue, red, shimmering, little butterfly wings.
I thought I didn't have to deal with these fuckers. I was somewhere else when they happened. I thought they were the siblings' problem.
There are a lot of these people, and they're everywhere. So, what item, Laura, does the Cymbeline have in its claws?
Nuke.
I'm having to fight between many storytelling urges right now.
Yeah, I mean, I could just unilaterally say it, but I think it is funnier if you get to pick.
Okay, look, I'm talking through my thoughts here. The children's trading card deck of no synergy feels funny. Because I like the thought of having to fight to take this back against an enemy that's also having random bullshit. The nuke, it's the obvious one. It's the one that fucks shit up, and I am a sucker for causing problems for myself.
It also is like, oh, Huff did so great last arc. She's really coming into herself. What do you mean she lost a nuke?
It is juicy. I regret having Desdemona demand the nuke, because it feels like a hat on a hat to have that many plot lines running through it.
I'll say
it is also very funny if the card deck was used to make Hop super jacked, terrified of water, then stolen for the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, that's that. My question is, if the nuke gets stolen, will it be enough to Hop to say to the siblings, it's the fucking little fly things? To be like, oh, no, it's not your fault, we understand. We are shared in unity.
I will as kindly as I say my character will understand to a certain degree, but there is really no way to like smooth over I lost the nuke.
Fucking Austin, I can't make this choice. You have
The
to do
question
it. I
at
can't
that
be
point is
responsible
like,
for this.
do we tell Dad or do we just hunt these guys down and try to?
I mean, it has been explained that the best thing to do with Dad is maybe to just fucking lie and hide shit from him. But yeah, Austin, I can't be responsible for this. You gotta do it.
I think the drama over what to do with the nuke as a choice between siblings versus Desdemona is already interesting enough without adding another wrinkle to it.
Okay.
And the holodecks are your main way of fighting. I don't think it's going to be as funny for me to roll the list I created.
I mean, you say they're my main way of fighting. I do have fists, and they're
Yeah,
pretty good.
you're jacked now. That's true, but it was because of the deck. I mean, listen, if the siblings steal the deck, and then next time you see them, they're all fucking jacked.
Oh, actually, that is great. I do like the thought that next time we fight them, they're gonna be jacked. Yeah. Okay.
Suddenly, it's not a perception check. It's a strength contest to see if they just pin you down and take your things.
Are they now just strong enough to just walk in and go, "I'm taking this. You can't stop me."
I also think that if they have the lucky rabbit's foot, then they can probably be more effective at stealing stuff because they'll be able to reroll.
Oh yeah, that too. Austin, I need you to pick this so that I have someone I can resent when whatever it is taken. So I gotta leave it to you.
Okay.
Fuck me up however you wish, but I gotta be able to point fingers.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with the lucky rabbit's foot because I want you to keep rolling in the holodeck, and I already have this storyline for the nuke. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. Well, good thing you stole it after I'd used all my rolls for this arc.
Yeah. So you look over, Cymbeline is standing there holding the lucky rabbit's foot in its little claw, eating a smashed cantaloupe, and says, "Hi, I'm Cymbeline."
Hallie, you've got my shit.
"Oh, it's my shit too. Isn't that funny?"
Haha, no it's not. Give that shit back. I'm Jack. Don't make me punch you.
You wouldn't hit me. I'm so little.
I attempt to punch the Cymbeline.
Yes. Let's do it. Do it.
Right. So that's 18 to punch.
That hits.
Yeah, this thing's gonna deal. I've got one fucking HP.
You got one hit point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had to try. Please tell me this thing has less than 11 health. 7. Sorry. Yeah, that was +5. 11 damage.
Okay.
That's max damage. Did I splat it?
I mean, you hit it really hard. She flies back, hits the wall, bounces off, and lunges at you to attack you back. 21.
Yeah, that's above my AC.
Oh, I'm gonna read with you what this says in the Fairy Dragon's stat block. Weapon attack +7 to hit. On hit, 1 piercing damage. That's literally what it says. Laura, can you paint me the picture of being knocked out by a Cymbeline?
I think Hop has completely swung the opposite direction in a matter of like 2-3 minutes and has now overestimated her new muscles. And I think this is a very entire body into it punch, very like anime punch. Does land successfully. I think this is the equivalent of how do I put this?
Your muscles explode.
I think upon being no, I was gonna say I think this is the Cymbeline flies in and does a little stab, and I just completely overcommit to the punch, and I just fall over, hit my head on the floor, and I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be lying in a pile of fruit gore. So what is a funny fruit to hit your head on? Pineapple? Coconut.
Yeah, there you go. That feels right.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a funnier one. The only one that might be funnier is a pumpkin that's got a face carved in it, and I fall over, and now my head is inside the carved pumpkin. Maybe
We gotta save some material for next season, though, Laura.
Yeah, longtime listeners are anticipating pumpkin season quite fervently. But I will say, Rex.
Did you say pervertly?
Yeah.
Because they are.
Yes, they're also anticipating it fervently. Rex Maximus, you eventually are able to get away from Desdemona, and wandering the halls, you can find Doc Hop unconscious in the middle of what looks like a terrible vegetable murder. I mean, it might be upsetting at first because you see, like, you know, juices and stuff pooling on the floor. It kind of looks like they both died.
I think Rex is like just kind of baffled at what he sees at first before he like realizes, oh shit, my sister. Because like, how do you react to this? I mean, well, actually, I guess this happened to Austin when last time he was left alone. But yeah, so I guess he's gonna try to check on Hop to see if she's okay, which I guess for him is just like kind of like grabbing her by the shoulders and shaking her, like, Hop, are you alive? What's happening?
Hey, I want to fight with the vegetable soldier, and then the fucking Cymbeline, fuck.
Ah,
They stole my crap. They stole my stuff.
what is it? Like Rex, like kind of knowing, like he can empathize with this, right? Pats her on the shoulder and says, "We don't have to tell DiCaprio about this."
Okay. If at any point you're up for kicking some tiny little annoying bastards, I would like to help. I have muscles now. I punched a big vegetable.
Yeah, you did, Doctor. You know where DiCaprio is?
No.
Did she get jumped by a big vegetable?
No. But I do think there's a hidden door somewhere near here to Sugar 2, the sequel to Sugar. Better Sugar is, I think, this way.
I think Rex like glances down to the cracked coconut that he picked Hop's head off of. And went, "You hit your head real hard, didn't you?"
No. I found that before I got into the fight.
Rex will, I guess, try to see if he could find like the hidden pathway then.
Absolutely.
That Hop is indicating.
Sleight of hand.
What do I have for that? I think that's just a straight D20. Yep. Eight.
Oh no. All right, so you fail. So you and Doc Hop are here in this hallway, just running your hands along all the walls, and you're not going to find anything. We're going to cut back to DiCaprio in a sec, unless you two have anything you want to discuss or do or establish, because you're not going to find it without some intervention here.
Yeah, I guess while Rex is probably about to just turn on his ring and try to punch through the wall if he can't find anything. But Rex will actually say, because I think he's been thinking about this, because this is basically a baby shower, right? And while he's like running his hands along the wall, idly trying to find anything, he's just gonna kind of out loud say, "You ever wonder if Dad had other kids besides us?"
It feels in character. I assume probably.
Cause he's like the oldest thing on this planet. He's older than the planet.
Yeah, if he'd only had 3 kids, that would be weirder than him having more kids. I think the main question is whether he knows, if he's got more kids, which I assume he does, it's whether he knows he has more kids. Do they know they're his kids?
Well, if Eda Barbas is right about how fucked the old world was, I think the question is, are they alive?
I mean, probably. They're dragons. We're sturdy. We can live through stuff.
He says that we were almost extinct down there, which is a wild thing to believe. But apparently it's true.
Well, If
Do
he
you
had...
know anything about Dad before he came here?
Not really. He's always been busy with his stuff up here. And, like, I never really stopped to think about Dad before he was Dad, you know?
Because he always gets on us about, well, gets on me about small folk and all that stuff. But he's got like 5 sentient unicorns and then rare birds. It's not like they're doing missions for him. And if he's the oldest dragon who lived through that apocalypse or whatever, he had to have been, I guess stacking bodies, right?
Probably? I don't know. I genuinely had not... Like, this is the first I stopped to ask that. Is this one of these things where we end up finding out that, like, every dragon is pretty closely related to us, because, like, they were almost all gone, and then, like, he happened.
He fucked him back into existence. I'm not sure that's the case.
I don't know if... Look, I'm thinking out loud. I don't know. Anything feels on the table when he's been around that long.
I think Rex is... Yeah, he's going to continue and say, if Andronicus is the second oldest dragon around here, maybe we could find something here that talks about what Dad was like. Maybe like an old cookbook. The only other thing I can think of then is trying to go down there to the old world myself. Because I don't think Dad's going to talk about it.
I mean, I like the idea. I don't know how often people write cookbook... I was going to say write entries in their cookbook about people who are older than them, but that does feel like the introductory 4 paragraphs to every recipe is a story about a person you knew once, so maybe.
Yeah, I think that's all Rex has if Hop doesn't have anything else.
Yeah. No, Hop's just continuing to dig at the floor, trying to find the sugar room.
DiCaprio Devereaux, you have entered the protein floor.
Hot dog. That's not what I'm looking for, though. But I suppose those would also be there.
Pasta, a vegetable medley, and hot dogs.
Just the way Mama used to make. Except by that I mean my mom didn't feed me, so I got SpaghettiOs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't knock it.
The group chat has been popping off about SpaghettiOs recently, audience. I'm sorry.
I had some literally before this recording.
Dan, how many times do you think you have SpaghettiOs a week?
Well, just once now. But granted, it was 0 for 28 years. And then a quite sharp jump in the last month.
The bar graph would be quite far along, you say, basically?
Yeah, it's a meme coin that's about to get rug pulled.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm going to be looking for, like, a particularly good cut of meat I could find here. I don't want to necessarily perpetuate the idea that beef is still the greatest meat around, but I'm going to say, like, I don't know, like Tarrasque or something like that. What do fancy people eat in this universe?
No, I was excited for the idea of us talking about the tastes of a bunch of fantasy creatures, like, a displacer beast steaks. We get, a ground bullet, things of this nature.
I invented the pentacorn. We can work out what that tastes of.
Absolutely. Why don't you roll investigation to find what you're looking for, DiCaprio?
Me?
I would.
Investigation, you say? All right, I'm gonna use my Gucci sunglasses to give myself proficiency in this.
Okie dokie.
I rolled a 24, Austin. Tell me about that Tarrasque husk, or Chuck.
Yeah, the Tarrasque Chuck is so aged, perfectly marbled. It's incredible. It's in a big glass case that other people are trying to open, but they're deemed unworthy, like Mjolnir. and you
And
just
I'm like, step aside, darling.
yeah, you just stroll in, dispel the magic easily, pick it up, and you hear a clip-clopping of hooves next to you as Andronicus in his key-rin form, which is like a large golden kind of deer-scaled creature, walks up to you and says, that's quite a risk there. You really think you're ready for that one?
Well, life is about the risks, isn't it? We should be showing this newborn as it comes into the world that dragons are bold and powerful and make dramatic moves.
If it cooks all the way through, you'll certainly send that message, but do it underdone, and we'll all be feeling quite unwell for the rest of the month.
Darling, does the name DiCaprio Devereaux usually go alongside failure? I think not.
Not that I've heard, but I have been out of the Cookie Mountains for some time. Maybe I missed something.
You haven't been keeping touch on all my comings and goings?
Sorry, darling. I have too many things to see, too many things to taste out there. I'm a Roman type, a rambling man.
I'm torn because I'm like, partially I think DiCaprio would try to be flirtatious with this guy, because I think she is just always trying to kind of suck up above the ladder where she can. But I'm like, I can't have her say something like, you know what you haven't tasted yet.
Oh my god. Dan just posted DiCaprio Devereaux diarrheas in the Discord. Thank you, bud.
It's 3Ds.
Yeah.
That's actually what the acronym stands for.
Also, pretty on brand for someone named DiCaprio to go for a massive age difference.
Oh my god. I just got that.
Oh my gosh. So DiCaprio, I think, is going to, kind of play it off. She's going to be like, well, darling, I assure you, if I'm going to participate in this contest, I am going to be giving you nothing more than the exquisite perfection that is expected, the exquisite quality that is expected of DiCaprio Devereaux.
I can't wait to see it. Where are the youngins? He's looking around dramatically, as if expecting to see your siblings.
Oh, well, knowing my siblings, I'm sure that Hop is out there winning minds over with her brilliant education and really showing the sort of astounding brilliance that she possesses. And Hop is and Rex is probably out there showing how he's the strongest dragon around. Truly, Dad has never seen a dragon stronger than him, actually.
In the HBO adaptation, while you're saying all that, it just cuts to them slipping around in the golem's guts as they fall over each other, trying to figure out where the secret room is.
It cuts to Hop's head stuck in the coconut still for some reason.
Yeah. Andronicus says, well, I look forward to tasting all your dishes. Is there anything else I can do for you? A lot of people are looking for condiments, and we have all of the cookware upstairs ready for you, so no problem there.
I'm always curious to see, do you keep your most exotic ingredients somewhere else, or are you truly leaving everything available for everyone in this contest?
Oh, well, I keep the cheeky dessert vault to myself. It's the famous cookies of our mountains, but all the proteins and the grains and the vegetables are all out, so... But if you want to see, I mean, Orlando's welcome to stop by any time. I think I'm overdue for an inspection.
You would just happily allow an inspection to happen if Orlando would show up?
Yeah, of course. I've signed the GLADYS Treaty, ain't I?
I'm gonna roll an insight on him right now. I want to get a gauge for how truthful he's being about how cool he is with the Accords. 6, unfortunately.
Yeah, with the 6, you have no idea. This man's dragon deer face is completely unreadable to you. But he says, yeah, if Orlando wants to stop by, you can take a look at my pies, my cakes, my cannolis, all of these.
I think I'll make mention of that to my father then. Perhaps he might schedule that in sometime for him. You know how busy he is, dear Andromedus. difficult being the one keeping all of this together.
That's why I prefer to fly on the winds of flavor.
Is that his tagline on his cooking show?
Yeah, basically. He's like, far away from responsibility, wafting on the stink lines of delicious food. That's where I belong.
Well, I must get to cooking, as you said. Can't be a second late, or it would be a terrible time for us all. And I just hope that you enjoy the meal. You deserve a good treat for being such a wonderful host.
Well, if it's delicious enough, then I'll be awarding you my Firestone Star. It's full of all kinds of magic. I'm sure wizards such as yourself would really appreciate all it can do for you.
I would be quite marveled and honored to have an item like that. If you, of course, were to deem my dish the best. And can I try to persuade him? I want to get on his good side. I want to really endear myself to him.
Sure, yeah. Roll persuasion.
Okay. An 11.
Yeah, with an 11, it doesn't have any mechanical importance. You just banter with him, and he says, "Oh, you're a person of taste and fashion. What do you think about the name Ulysses for the wormling?"
I think it is a very powerful name. Is there any idea who's going to be watching the whelpling?
Oh, I've been asking around. I think we're going to take turns until it's old enough to fend for itself.
Oh, interesting. Oh, well, I guess before I say that, is that considered unorthodox in dragon culture?
Yes, I would say that dragons being as territorial and as solitary as they are, usually either raised by the parents or not raised at all. They can kind of fend for themselves because of how large and powerful they are. So this is a kind of unique situation because everyone is so close together in the Cookie Mountains.
I think to that DiCaprio is going to say, well, just make sure my shift is somewhere a little bit later in the cycle. Can you imagine me with a newborn? It would be... That'd be wild.
No worries, Mr. DiCaprio.
Just putting it back out there, Rex Jr. Making sure that's in the list of options.
Yeah. If you're done talking to Andronicus, he will leave, and you can go find your siblings.
Yeah, I'm going to have to find them, because at this point I have no idea what the status of the mission is. I've kind of lollygagged my way through the last two stages of this, so she has a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, no, I like it, though, because you are completely unfussed. That you didn't get into, Rex knocked the lights out and caused a panic. Hop got knocked out. So you were just strolling up, and you see these two goobers covered in slime and looking harried. Doc Hop, did you roll hit dice to get your hit points back?
Yeah. Hey, sis. There's a room here. We can't find it. There's too much veg. Help.
Can I attempt to assist them looking first?
Absolutely. If you don't want to talk until you look, sleight of hand.
Well, I guess I'll wait, because in case Rex wants to bring any news up to date. But I do think it'd be very funny if she walks in, either sees the door immediately and is like, were you trying to find this? Or doesn't, and just leaves assuming they're insane.
I guess I do have one question, since I don't think we hashed this out. My Dispel Magic, is that once per episode?
No, once per arc.
Okay, never mind then.
I will say, for a clarity thing that I don't know if we've actually said out loud, but Desdemona demanding the Navineral's disc strongly implies, if not outright confirms, she is against the GLADYS Accords.
Yes.
If that is something anyone is interested in or cares about. Barbas mentioned to Rex, there are some people out there who would like to change the status quo if you're interested.
Yeah, but she sucks.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
I guess I will do my sleight of hand check. 5, so also not good.
Yeah, 5 is so bad. You just like look around and you're just utterly convinced that they're insane. They're doing fruit angels on the ground here. This
Don't
is unrelated to the mission.
Don't ruin your ingredients before you have a chance to cook them. And don't tell me this is some goblin core thing again, Hop. I know when I'm eating dirt.
These are not my ingredients. I punched a vegetable soldier into this.
Oh, that's where that
also,
went.
the Cymbalines. I hate the Cymbalines.
Ugh, me too.
I'm on team anti-Cymbaline. If you get a chance to punch the Cymbalines, let me know and we'll come punch them.
Yes, punching them. Don't worry, darling. If I do any punching about them, I'll make sure you're involved. It would be nice to swat them, though. So unlike dragons.
It was very satisfying to punch one very hard. They do now
I hit
have...
one with a car.
Oh, did you kill it?
I punched it real good, and I had just finished the fight with the vegetables. I was pretty... I was in a bad state at the time. I did not win.
Hop, you lost to one of the siblings?
Hey, I was on death's door at that moment. I'm still getting used to having muscles.
I wish I had a spell to make you forget that you even had that memory. Pretend it never happened,
Hey.
Hop. Mention this to no one.
Hey. You also have memories of being stolen from by the Cymbalines. I'm not alone here. We have something in common for once.
I beat the shit out of mine. I can't speak for the two of you.
Oh wait, did Rex get his back?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
hunted it down.
Yeah,
and
you
threatened
didn't.
to murder
You
it.
didn't. You didn't do it alone. You had help.
That is true. You did help.
Yeah, and when the time comes, I hope I'll have your help to kick another one's ass.
I mean, I'll just eat him. I'll eat him. Fuck him.
Oh, hell yeah.
But anyway, this is obviously a hallway with nothing in it, so clearly something's here.
Okay, well, unless you have a way to punch through walls, Rex, I don't think we're really using our time well.
Can I attempt with my 20 strength to punch my way through?
The only thing I can think of is that, like, if there is a space behind one of these walls, just listen for a difference behind it, and then try to break it down.
I will say that under normal circumstances, even with max strength, you could not punch through a stone wall. But with the Ring of the King, you do have one chance to roll an attack here. I am going to need a 21 as the DC if you want to punch through the wall. Only Rex.
Can I, as a cantrip, I want to cast Minor Illusion, and I'm going to create the sound of a lot of, like, construction going on in this hallway, and I'm going to, like, try to make it so that people don't think there's anything weird going on when there's a big sound coming through, and I don't know if that's, like, too much to then be like, it gives Rex the confidence to know he can go really all out or whatever, but I would like to feel like I'm trying to assist.
Mm-hmm.
I'll help out by doing minor illusion to create some kind of, like, wooden box or something to obscure the view of what we're doing.
I don't suppose either of you have guidance.
Nope.
All right, well, here we go. This is going to be a
What am I, a filthy cleric?
D20 plus 5.
Wow!
21.
Sometimes I say the DC out loud because I think it'll be funny and interesting, and sometimes I keep it to myself because it's boring, and I'm glad my intuition was right. It wouldn't mean anything if I just revealed it now. 21. Rex, you put a hole into the wall, and on the other side, there is definitely something. It is not just packed earth in the center of this mesa.
Yeah, so Rex, like, sticks his hand through the hole in the wall and, like, starts groping around for the fucking door handle.
Yeah, I think eventually the three of you can pull away what was a false wall that could have been moved by some mechanism if you had found it. All three of you failed your rolls to find the mechanism, but you just bust down this false wall and you find yourself, there is a locked vault door, like in a bank. It is locked.
Okay, well, at least I'm not going mad.
What kind of lock is this? Like a lock and a key? Is this like a magical lock?
Yeah, I think
Big dial.
I think it probably has both. It probably has like a bunch of different mechanisms that could be used to interact with it. I think Andronicus just called it the dessert vault in your brief conversation, so you're not surprised.
So that is where the sequel to Sugar is.
But yeah, I think you could pick the lock, you could play with the combination, you could do any number of things.
So clearly the combination to the lock is going to be the number of servings a day per food group, right? That's Rex's only suggestion here because he.
I was gonna suggest 627, which is the number for MSG.
All right. I think medicine to know that kind of stuff. There isn't a food roll per se, but medicine's the closest. Food is a kind of medicine.
It is the way I treat it. 15 medicine.
Yep, I was looking for 15. So, Rex, you bust down the false wall, and then Doc Hop, you fiddle with the combination until you override the lock, and you hear the sound of like a large metal like rod retracting inside the mechanism, and the vault is unlocked.
All right, let's do this quick because we have a contest to win.
All right, so I want to look for anything that seems like out of place inside of the vault, or anything that looks like particularly good.
Investigation or... Yeah, investigation, because no one's here, so you can rifle through stuff.
Okay. 14.
Oh, -1 to this? I think I did.
And everyone chipping in for investigation?
Shuffling between too many things.
12.
5.
Oof. The group gets above average. So here's what I'll say is you enter the vault, and it is an incredibly large industrial freezer. It obviously has magical components in it that's keeping everything perfectly fresh. You see rows and rows of pies and cakes and scones and cannolis and everything possible here. It is like a frozen wonderland of treats. There's an entire section of ice cream, every flavor of the rainbow. Everything looks delicious. There are also a bunch of chef's tools, spatulas and tongs and whisks and things like that. But with your rolls, you cannot identify what is magic and what is not. 12, 5, and 14. So I will say, yeah, this is the dessert vault. It looks like it's full of incredibly delicious stuff. There is, in fact, like a whole second floor of only cookies. Every kind of cookie that's ever existed. These are the titular cookies of season 12. Here they are.
Where's the chef hat, Austin?
All right.
Here's the thing. There are a number of chef hats, but with your rolls, you can't determine if any of them are magic.
Can we grab them all and just destroy them, and whatever remains are artifacts?
That feels like a way to make a massive enemy.
I will say that is a logical way that you can conduct these searches this season. If you just want to try to destroy everything, anything that is indestructible is an artifact. That is a choice you can
Not
make.
necessarily destroy, but, like, could we, speaking out loud, like, go grab each chef's hat and do a little scratch with a dragon claw on the inside? Like, not hugely damaging, but enough to be like, could I damage this if I wanted to?
Yeah, I will say that you don't have to make it seem like you Tasmanian deviled through here, but you're not going to do unnoticed damage. Like, Andronicus will notice.
I can't do a little bit of stitch picking to check.
I will say there will be consequences. There's not a way you can do it that there's no consequences, but you don't have to be a dick about it if that's what you're asking.
Is there any like labeling on any of the stuff in here, or is it just like loose?
I think Andronicus knows what all his own stuff is, so did not label it.
Okay. What kind of chef's hats are we working with? Do they look at all interesting?
I mean, there's the tall, floofy white ones. There's probably some that are like slight variations, but if there's a specific hat you're looking for, we can talk about it.
No, I'm just trying to find a way to deduce what is or is not an artifact here potentially.
Is there anything particularly beautiful about any of these cooking instruments?
Let's do Arcanas then. If anything, because all of you have a psychological compulsion to hoard a specific thing. So if there's something that catches your eye, like something beautiful, then that will be Arcana rolls.
21.
6.
Did you roll, Quinn?
14.
Okay. The only one who got a high enough roll to find something for their hoard is Doc Hop. Doc Hop, is there a kitchen dingle hopper you would like? With a 21, you can have one, and you can tell me what it does.
Slap chop. It's got to be a slap chop, right?
Now that you've said it, it can't be anything else. Now, what would it do mechanically is the question.
That really is the question.
Because all I can imagine doing with it is using it as a melee weapon to hit someone in the face with.
Cloud of knives.
Do they still make slap chops? I know I saw the infomercial back in the day, but I haven't seen a commercial in like 15 years. Is that still real?
I think it was not really a good. Well, there seems to be a version you can buy still, or various kinds of it. I think that guy got like mega canceled.
Yeah. Okay, so if the audience doesn't know, slap chop is like a cheap plastic thing with a big button you push to chop stuff up. I assume if you Doc Hop points it at someone and slaps the button, you can, completely disassemble someone. If you would like that, that's on the table.
It's not. Look, it sounds fun, and I could do with more ways to do damage in my arsenal, but it also does not sound very hot.
Okay.
That's not like now that I'm in with it, I don't. I want to commit to the hop doesn't have many ways of fighting, with the exception of the consequence of having big, strong muscles.
I will say, if you want to find the chef's hat that Dan is so desperately looking for, it can be both a symbol of authority and a dingle hopper, like a used item of history, and then there could be tension between the two of you over who gets it, but you can be the one to find it.
Oh, I like that, actually. I like that. Okay, so this is a specifically very old chef's hat. There is signs of... Hop's having a look at it and noticing that there's, like, old stitching techniques that haven't been used for a very, very long time. Someone had to go out of their way to keep this thing in nice condition. Particularly, you can see it's been used in a kitchen, but not so much that, it's not recognizable as that old chef's hat white. It's definitely of interest to Hop.
My intuition here is that the effect will be +1 AC, because it's technically a helmet, and you get proficiency in cooking, which is a tool proficiency you can have in this game that no one has going into this cooking contest.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, Hop's gonna take the chef's hat.
Here's my question: is she gonna hide it from Rex? Is she actively trying to prevent him from knowing that this has occurred?
I don't think she's trying to prevent Rex from knowing this has occurred, and I don't think she's opposed to Rex having it after the competition.
I think Rex sees that you grab it, and he doesn't say anything, but he is visibly frustrated when he realizes that he's being beaten out again.
Just a sec. You know what? Hop is going to notice this and go... It's got a lot of historical value, but would you like the hat?
I think Rex would actually reject it at this point. I think he doesn't want pity or help. He wants to succeed on his own, and he is tired of falling behind. So he's gonna say, "Just keep it. Let's find this artifact and get out of here, if there even is anything."
Oh, if you're sure.
I haven't seen anything in here, and Andronicus doesn't really strike me as the sort to be hoarding nukes, so perhaps we've just found a vault that doesn't have anything.
I mean, I get the impression, at the very least, hanging around isn't going to find it if it's here. You know?
By the way, saw your mom, DiCaprio.
Not her corpse, by chance.
No, but she wants the nuke.
What?
Oh.
Well, she's not going to get it.
Yeah, and then she threatened to, I guess, make Dad get it for make Dad make me get it for her.
I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. She can't do that.
Oh yeah, I told her to pound sand.
I might want Dad to like me, but there is no world in which I'm siding with Dad if it means siding with your mum. That's just a no-go. I understand that. Yeah, it ain't happening.
I think Rex kind of like waves a hand dismissively of Desdemona. She was trying to big dog me into getting something for her. I don't think there's any way Dad would agree to making me to the adjustment of the deal and then actively have me break the accords.
Yes, but this does clue me in on what my mother would be asking for me if I got that favor from her.
Well, I guess this just puts a time limit on us dealing with the nuke permanently, so that her getting it back is not on the table.
Do you still have the nuke, Hop?
I do. I put it right down the bottom of the trash bag of holding. I am real thankful that the goddamn Cymbalines didn't get it, but they didn't.
Why are you still carrying it on you?
Because where else am I going to leave it?
You
I don't
have a
know.
lair!
Yeah. Do you think it's safer where I can turn into a dragon and fight back to defend it, or in my lair?
I mean, why don't we just go after this and drop it off the side of the world?
I'm very up for it. I'm open to it.
DiCaprio kind of like pauses and is like, I think that would be a bit hesitant, or a bit of a fool's move to make. I don't think we've discussed this object enough, and I think we need to have more of a conversation. Perhaps there is a value in something like this, at least being discussed.
Well, whatever happens, I'm not just gonna hand it to your mum. Because your mum's a jerk.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't know how much there is to discuss. It's a frisbee that deletes mountain ranges.
DiCaprio is going to kind of look around. And I think she's like really trying to make sure there's nothing around here that like could be used to like overhear what she's about to say. And if she feels like she is safe in saying this, she's going to be like, you remember when we went to investigate Mother's hoard to find the carbuncle, and there was a section that was kept off limits from us? I have to wonder if Des doesn't have another of those sorts of artifacts that she's currently sitting on. I think my mother is the type to use an object like this.
That doesn't sound like a ridiculous thing to worry about.
And if she wants more, then she assures herself and stockpiles the most powerful relics. And she is one of the oldest dragons.
So yeah, it sounds like the idea then is to toss it off the side of the world.
What if we need to use to blow up her mountain, though?
I think if we did that, it would probably result in an all-out civil war and our own executions.
You're not wrong. But it does sound kind of like she's doing the actions that someone wanting to kick off a civil war themselves might do.
Then why would we keep it around and play into her hand?
What if I held on to it and spoke with her? I needed to talk to her anyway. Maybe I can get a gauge on why she wants it.
Are you sure it's a good idea to hold on to the magical nuke while talking to the person you hate the most on the planet?
I mean, if it goes off, at least both of us are gone. And hopefully it goes off a little bit closer to her. For 1 picosecond, I get to exist in the world without her. I'm not going before that bitch.
If you want to be responsible for it, go right ahead. I trust you.
My vote is still to toss it, but you can do what you want. You're the oldest.
Yeah, I think DiCaprio will take the disc.
I'm removing the Vinarol's disc from my inventory.
Okie dokie. That's very important and interesting. DiCaprio Devereaux, you put the disc in your inventory, and as you do so, you hear Andronicus's voice magically amplified as it rumbles through the mesa as he says, 5 minutes until we begin the cooking competition for the Firestone Star. Everyone to your places. The egg is ready to hatch any minute.
Well, we're saying that he didn't have any artifacts in his hoard then?
Not that we could find. Hop is grabbing some sugar too, ready to sprinkle on her sandwich.
Can I get a nature check to see if you can find if Andronicus has Sugar 2, the sequel to Sugar?
Okay, nature, did you say?
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, there are a variety of herbs and spices here that you don't know what they are, so you grab a couple handfuls of them. But you're not sure if it's Sugar too. I will say the group failed both of the rolls here, and you did not decide to deliberately damage everything to test. So you are leaving with some uncertainty, which is a perfectly fine choice. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page about that.
I have an idea I want to propose.
I also have an idea. You can go first.
I'm thinking DiCaprio throws out the idea what if we fake finding an artifact? We take one of the chef's knives, say it can do something, once it cuts something, it can never be healed or something like that, then throw it off the edge of the world and tell Father what great jobs you've been doing.
That only works if he doesn't test it.
Also, surely checking and finding that there's nothing there is a perfectly acceptable good job done.
We haven't fully checked his... I figure Rex is probably aware Hop has a magical chef's hat right now. So I think he already thinks that he's outgunned in this cooking competition. And he doesn't need another lecture from Dad. So he's just gonna say... You two go up, I'll keep looking.
Okay, well, if I win the competition, I'll get you the star.
Wait, what? Why?
That is nothing.
Why would I get the
Nothing.
star?
Well, because you're competing. You can compete for you. I'll compete for Rex.
Rex, give me your biscuits.
No! And he eats it.
But if you had done that, then we at least would have won to... I hope you choke on them. In fact, if there's a liquid nearby that would be used to get undry his mouth, I want to destroy it.
You destroy a bottle of water, Hop sees the water, runs out screaming.